that's something that we kind of guard because it's considered sacred. That lineage is considered sacred, and not anyone can just take it up. You have to be chosen.
What is a hand tap tattoo?
A hand tap tattoo is something that's usually done as a ritualistic practice, and among Austronesian people, we do hand tap tattooing as a ritual practice to adorn ourselves with mana. If you play video games, sometimes you might see mana used for magic. Mana is a spiritual authoritative power that can be inherited or bestowed upon individuals, and we do that through tattooing. So it's a little bit different from going into a tattoo shop where it's more focused on the art. This is focused on the symbolism, the meaning, and the relationship that is denoted by the markings.
How does the process of doing it, like how do you do a hand tap tattoo?
So the tools that we use in hand tap tattooing are very different from what you would see in a tattoo shop. It's different from stick and poke. It's different from a machine. These are usually wooden handles with bone combs of needles attached perpendicularly to the handle at a right angle, and those carved bone needles are dipped in a soot-based ink, placed over the skin, and tapped right into the skin like this, in and out like a sewing machine. It's not easy because it's not like a machine where you just kind of set a depth, so to speak, and you find the sweet spot and you go. Every tap I am feeling how deep to go to the skin.
When we talk about kind of the symbols and you deciding the tattoo, are there certain themes that you go with, like certain designs, certain patterns that you go with?
Well, placement on the body, you can have a triangle on one part of the body, but if I put it to a different part of the body, for example, it changes the meaning of the design. So there's a literacy even with placement. And then there's composition as well. In a lot of our compositions in the Philippines, we denote the three major levels of our cosmology: the sky world or the heavenly world, the earth world, and the ancestral realm. And so usually when we do our compositions, there's going to be elements that denote those three realms. So there's, again, with the literacy of the designs, there's an understanding of cultural concepts as well as just, if you have somebody that goes to a tattoo shop that does tribal tattoos or whatever you want to call them, and they just say, oh, this is for your family, they're probably just giving you a very superficial level of understanding. Each of the markings has a meaning behind it or a concept behind it, but sometimes even oral tradition that's attached to it. So some of the designs function as mnemonic devices to remember cultural concepts, but even oral history. Some of our designs that we do very commonly, usually when people come to us for the first time, we start out with foundational designs that are what we consider a foundational design to denote our earliest beginnings or our origin stories in the Philippines.
Is it the kind of thing where you could look at the tattoos that somebody has and know where they're from, who their family is, what they believe, those kind of things?
Exactly. There are some designs that denote your role in society, in the community. We don't have things for like insurance agent.
Yeah, yeah. Accountant.
Right, no designs for accountants, but if you're an artificer or craftsperson of some sort, then there might be a design that represents that. If you are obviously a warrior, or if you've taken human life, there are designs for that. There are designs for those that are healers. or traditional healers. Um, so you could potentially walk into a village in the old days and you could recognize who's in charge, who you need to steer clear of, who you would go to for help.
Does it hurt? It looks like it hurts.
All tattooing hurts. But what the general consensus is, I would say 99% of the people that we work with say that hand tapping is more tolerable than the tattoo machine. In other words, it doesn't hurt as much. And the reason for that is with the machine, those needles are going in and out of your skin so fast that it's a blur.
Yeah.
It's a lot more invasive. So when I'm working, it's tap, 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 tap. Much fewer punctures to achieve a line than with a machine. And it's rhythmic. The rhythms that I use when I'm tapping, what my teacher calls the song of the tools, those rhythms are also passed down while we work. And a lot of people will sometimes remark how that song is familiar to them, and it's soothing to them. So it does hurt, but people usually after the first 5 or 10 minutes are able to relax through it, and I have had quite a few people fall asleep while I work.
How long would you say it took you to get good at it? That long, a long time.
Yeah, and thank God for all the people that let me practice on them in the early days, literally practice, because some of my early work was rough. And so in the early days, there was hardly anybody doing this type of work. And this would be around 2012 is when I first started tattooing. And in my head, I always was stressed out when I started. I keep the calm demeanor. I want the person to remain calm. If I'm panicking, they're going to panic. But in my head, I was just like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. I don't think I became comfortable with doing the work for about 4 to 5 years.
Wow, that long.
It was very stressful. Now I enjoy it. I enjoy doing the work because of, I'm at a level of proficiency where I don't have to think about how to tattoo that. I can just tattoo it.
Yeah.
And my students, they stay with me for a very long time as well. One of my students, Natalia, she practices in Hawaii. She sat with me for 7 years. And some of my other students that haven't graduated yet, Johnny's been with me for going on 7+ years now. Shane, one of my students, he's been with me for 4 years now. They stay with me for a very long time so that they are proficient not just with the skill set to tattoo, but all the lore, all the knowledge, all the oral traditions, conceptual ideas that go along with the designs, so that they're proficient with all of that as well. It takes a while to accumulate all of that knowledge, so it's working knowledge, not just random factoids.